Hello and welcome to week 11 of the course EU Security and the Future of NATO. In previous weeks, you explored NATO crisis interventions and examined how military alliances respond to international security challenges. This week, you will focus on the European Union's Common Security and Defence Policy, known as the CSDP, and examine the EU's role in international security missions. While NATO remains the primary military alliance responsible for collective defense in Europe, the European Union has developed its own mechanisms for crisis management, peacekeeping, and institutional support missions. Understanding this policy framework will help you analyze how the EU contributes to international security and how it complements the role of NATO. The Common Security and Defence Policy represents the European Union's effort to strengthen its role as a global security actor. Through this framework, the EU conducts civilian and military missions designed to stabilize conflict regions, support governance institutions, and promote peace and security. These missions often focus on areas such as security sector reform, training programs, rule of law support, and conflict prevention. Unlike NATO's large-scale military operations, EU missions frequently emphasize civilian expertise and institutional capacity building. As you study this topic, you should analyze how the EU security missions contribute to international stability and how they interact with NATO's strategic objectives. This week introduces several key concepts that will help you understand the European Union's role in international security. One important concept is the Common Security and Defence Policy, which provides the institutional framework for EU security operations. You will also examine EU civilian missions, which focus on strengthening governance institutions and supporting conflict prevention. Another important concept is strategic autonomy, which refers to the European Union's ability to act independently in security and defense matters when necessary. As you review the course materials, you should reflect on how these concepts shape the EU's evolving role in international security governance. During this week, you will complete several learning activities designed to deepen your understanding of EU security policy and crisis management missions. First, you should review the lecture materials and assigned readings, which examine the development of the Common Security and Defence Policy. Next, you will participate in the discussion forum, where you will analyze the EU's ability to act as an independent security actor. You will also complete a short self-assessment quiz, which will help you review the key concepts introduced in this week's module. Finally, you will complete a weekly analytical project, where you will evaluate the strategic role of the European Union in international security operations. This week also includes an interactive analytical activity. In this activity, you will examine several EU crisis management missions conducted under the Common Security and Defence Policy. You will analyze the objectives of these missions and evaluate how they contribute to conflict prevention and international stability. As you complete this activity, you should consider how EU missions complement NATO's military capabilities and how different international institutions cooperate in managing global security challenges. In the discussion forum, you will analyze the following question: can the European Union become a credible independent security actor without relying on NATO? When writing your response, you should support your argument using examples from the readings or policy materials introduced in this week's module. Your initial post should present a clear analytical perspective, and you should also respond constructively to at least 2 contributions from your classmates. The discussion forum will allow you to explore different perspectives on the EU's evolving role in international security. At the end of the weekly module, you will complete a short quiz designed to help you review the key concepts introduced this week. The quiz will focus on topics such as the Common Security and Defence Policy, EU civilian and military missions, the concept of strategic autonomy. Completing the quiz will help you reinforce your understanding before moving to the final module of the course. Your weekly project will focus on analyzing the role of the European Union as a security actor through the Common Security and Defence Policy. You may choose the format that best demonstrates your understanding of the topic. For example, you may submit a policy analysis essay, a short video explanation, a podcast commentary, an infographic, or a narrated presentation. Regardless of the format you choose, your project should demonstrate critical analysis and engagement with the key concepts introduced this week. To guide your work, please consult the project assessment rubric available in the course platform. The rubric explains how your project will be evaluated, focusing on conceptual understanding, analytical reasoning, use of evidence, clarity of communication. Using the rubric while preparing your project will help you produce a strong and well-structured submission. Week 11 provides an opportunity to analyze how the European Union contributes to international security through civilian and military missions. As you work through this week's materials, you should think critically about how the EU's security policies interact with NATO's strategic role and how both institutions shape the European security architecture. Next week, you will conclude the course by examining the future of NATO and European security and presenting your course portfolio. I look forward to seeing your ideas in the discussion forum and your analytical projects in the weekly assignment. Good luck with your work this week.